channel does not promote or promotion any illegal activities. All content provided by this channel is meant only for educational purpose only.
To my power, yeah, I saw this on the billboard and it was just like, oh, yeah, we had to do something. Yeah, you super freaking okay. Got a step left from Bull Olay. Outside ain't no mod the cabaret. Hell no,
She had dropped this one here the other day.
Gotta get shot, your manager Bill Gates. You was a major, but now a disgrace. Get up out my face, you about face, yeah. Hold up, girl, gotta slow it down. Come on, girl, and gon' get your crown. Nicki, Carter, Megan, they all clowns. Paint them all white, I'm coming snow plow. Street lights on and the sun coming down. Hurry up, girl, you better get in the house. You know that your mama don't play around. Gotta get better so you won't suffer beat down.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. We'd like to welcome you to the Truth Be Told Flex podcast, where I'm your host here, Yeshua Judah. We got our Yovin, Yahoo, and Atzafah Yeshel who in the house tonight. Want to thank the Most High for allowing us to make it through a whole nother week and to be here again. That what you listening to is your PQ. That was fresh off the press. I heard it yesterday. So you want to be freaky? I believe that's what she called it. Mm-hmm. And what's crazy is that, hey, I was listening to it after it went off. You know, I left a comment in the comment box. I was like, the Nicki Minaj voice though. She first thought,
you do it all.
Sounded just like almost right.
I don't put like almost Nicki any of them any day.
What?
Wear them out.
Wear them out. Wear them out. Yup. Wear them out. Bar for bar she can. Bar for bar she can. Yup. Yeah, we got us a good one tonight. Once again, you know, scriptures cannot be denied when the Most High said that, hey, these curses will cleave to you. That's pretty much what this show is going to be about tonight. I try my best to find stories and things that is in the news that point out, you know, how it is that we as a nation is being treated over here and how comfortable people are with treating us the way that they treat us. I told my wife something all the time. I say, you know, people only get away with what you let them get away with. And this nation has been getting away with treating us wrong for so long that other nations are comfortable talking about us. Other nations are comfortable with beating us up. Other nations are comfortable with giving us the short end of the stick. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's gonna be one of those type of shows tonight. How y'all gentlemen doing?
Good, man. Blessed.
Good.
Be with you brothers. Be with you brothers. To be with the audience. Love you guys. Glad to be here. Good.
Same. It's getting a little chilly. Chilly outside.
Man. Yeah, it's getting a
I
little
ran
chilly.
out of bourbon. I need to go restack on that so I can warm up a little bit more.
That bourbon keep you warm on it out.
Man, say, I didn't know they came with it.
You know they came with it.
That wasn't in fine print.
Right. Right. On the back, they need it on the bottom.
Right. Keep you
warm. Like you do the number.
Yeah. or when you pour it in a bottle or the cup, need to talk to you.
Right. Or you just fall asleep and think you're warm. What are the two?
Wake up, that bourbon you don't wore off, boy. You wake up.
That's for real. But yeah, it is very good to be here, man. It's good to see you brothers again. You know, the Most High has been blessing us with the show. I want to thank everybody who is tuning in right now. If you haven't done it, you already know what we're about to ask you to do. Go ahead and smash that like. And as Atzafah say, you can even hit the dislike. It don't matter. But go ahead and smash one of them. And as Ayob tell us, what is it, Ayob? What is it? What black people like?
It's free to do it.
It's free. It is free. In the tongue of our brothers that is south of us, it's gratis.
It's gratis.
I think I said that right.
El Frio.
Right. El Frio.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what I told my wife. I said that's my Spanish. I said I put L before everything and
Everything.
You
O after
should.
everything.
Hey,
So
and
it's
if I'm talking
El
to a man,
Frio.
if
Right.
I'm talking to a man is in the O, a woman an A, El
Yeah.
Frio, El
Right.
Frio. Hey,
Right.
I know that merch.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's
But
good stuff, man.
with that being said, man, you know how we do it. We're not
Oh,
going to delay too much longer. We're going to get right on to the show next week. I do want to make an announcement. We will have a guest in the house next week.
Yeah.
Uh, next week, next week, I feel like it's going to be a very lit show, man. I think we're going to have a really,
Yeah.
really great time next week. Yeah. So while everybody else, while all the pagans is going to be stuffing their stomachs with turkey and dressing and all of that stuff there, we're going to be right here doing what the Most High ordered us to do, doing what we do. We're
All
going to be, and
yeah.
we going,
mm,
yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're going to be right here next week. All
putting
right.
in the work. Come on,
Putting
man.
in the work, exactly. Putting in the work. So let's get it though. We got a beyond critical race theory.
Yes, sir. So just like last week, we started off with our new segment of or new variation of the beyond critical race theory, which we call here on the Truth Be Told Flats podcast, we call it the critical race fact, because these are facts. Okay. So tonight on the court document, it is
On the court document. I
Mr.
like that.
Ed of the week goes to none other. Now, Oxifar sent me this story, man, at the beginning of the week. So grateful that for my brother digging and doing research, man, and look this up because I never heard of this. The Mr. Ed of the Week award this week goes to Brownsville, Maryland, and Frostburg State University. So we've been covering the past few weeks. We've been talking about a lot of the massacres and, Rosewood, Lake Lanier, how our people was driven out of a certain area into another heavily populated area that are today, like Atlanta, from Harris County, Lake Lanier to parts of Florida. And the reason was they had massacres in that town. The land and the businesses were burnt down and stolen. Okay. Safar sent me this story. I did not know that it was going on and happening in the north too. Blew my mind. Once we've always heard, oh yeah, once we get to the north, we good. Once you get anywhere between the Mason-Dixon line, which is in Virginia and Pennsylvania, you're good. Well, Brownsville, Maryland, Frostburg State University, you are now on the clock. Bring your hind end down to the flow. We got to talk
I ain't
about
gonna never
this.
get used to that. I'm sorry.
We
Just
got
pictures and that catchphrase. I ain't gonna
come on down to the flow because you are now on the clock. You're now on the court
Let's
docket.
get it.
You're on trial. So we're going to watch a short clip of our sister Amber Ruffin. Now, the Amber Ruffin show is an informational show. She's an author. She has a show on Peacock. I believe they're in their fifth or sixth season. Sort of like a comedy satire, Saturday Night Live, but with real facts. It's got a kind of spin on it, okay? She does a great job of bringing out information about our people. Watch this short clip, and then we're going to come back with our commentary.
In 40s. That's when cars looked like this and Paul Rudd looked like this. At that time, Black Americans were being terrorized in the South, so millions of them migrated north. But many Northerners refused to rent or sell homes to them. So Black families did what they've done for generations. They made something out of nothing. They created makeshift communities and alleyways in cities like Washington, D.C. And then Congress came along and created something called the Alleyway Dwelling Authority. They cited the 8th article of the Constitution, which is, if things are going okay for Black people, it's time to f it up. The Alleyway Dwelling Authority said, we love what you've done with the place, but we want to make it safe for you. Why don't you move out and let us fix it up for you? But when they did, they put those houses up for sale at prices so high, Black families couldn't afford to move back. So they were left, once again, without a place to live. Now, usually when something that bad happens to Black people, it's because somebody said the word Candyman 5 times. Hold on, did that count as one of my times? I take it back. Now, the history of kicking Black people out of their homes isn't limited to big cities. Let's look at a town in Maryland called Frostburg. In 1866, two black women purchased land there that no one else wanted, and with it, they created Brownsville, a community of freed black people. They built a school and a flourishing community of businesses and homes owned by black people. I think you know where this is going. The local white people saw what could be done on that land, and they decided they wanted a school too. And you guessed it, they built it right on top of Brownsville. They spent the next couple of decades pushing black residents out of their homes so that they could build a college. In fact, members of the community were forced to sell their houses for $10. $10 for a house is insane. Even Monopoly houses cost $50. The only house that should cost $10 is this one. And even then, you're underpaying. It's adorable. So what used to be Brownsville is now Frostburg State University, whose mascot is, I'm guessing, the sneaky land thieves. And the university left the residents of Brownsville and their descendants without a place to live. Which brings us back to reparations. Reparations aren't just about putting a monetary value on the harm of enslavement. They're about restoring to black Americans the tangible things that were stolen from them through Jim Crow laws, housing discrimination, and so many other living, breathing legacies to enslavement.
Yeah, so there you have it. As Ms. Ruffin went through that video, man, it like I said, it just shocked and appalled me at what has been happening. We see gentrification today, but once again, it's been happening now. You can go. I'll put the link in the chat.
In the chat.
If you go back and watch that video, guys, everybody go back and watch that. Right before we started, she talks about the Jim Crow era, but she also talked about where we always cliched the 40 acres and a mule, right? Well, she talks about where that came from. One of the generals after the Civil War met with a lot of the prominent preachers and pastors in the area and said, hey, look, we feel bad about what we've done. How can we make this up? And they was pretty much like, well, give us land. So they decided to give them land. Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. After he was assassinated, Andrew Johnson became president. Andrew Johnson struck it down. It was what they called Reconstruction. They struck it down. And then we had no place to go. We had no food to eat. We worked for free pretty much. And they just released us. So here in Brownsville, Maryland, and they built this Frostburg University now. It's now called Frostburg, Maryland, as she was explaining, but it was once Brownsville, Maryland, named after Tamar Brown and her sister, which purchased the land. They purchased the land. They purchased the property in 1866 in order to educate the African-American children in the area. In Tamar's effort to give the children something that today many young people take for granted, she inevitably gave the African-American families of Brownsville a place to belong in the years after the Civil War. Now, for some now, it's very hard to imagine that any African-Americans ever lived in this rural area because they put this Frostburg State University and it's more of a white suburb now. Back then, it was less than 240 people. And it had over 100 families, small families, include the Williams, the Whites, the Coles, the Jacksons, to name a few. Now, Ms. Brown shared her home with 8 other family members, 1 woman, 3 men, and 4 children. All the people of Brownsville were threaded together through their love, family issues, dreams of equality, and life goals. One community, one family. So that goes to show you we live together, we work together in harmony, but and we wanted to stay segregated. Then during the civil rights, it was brought to, we've come together and lived together. That's when our communities really started failing. And as of today, Frostburg State University is now, it has 5,645 students on campus. It's still a small university. I had never heard of it. Never heard of Brownsville, Maryland. Never heard of Frostburg, Maryland. So once again, this is why this is not wanting to be taught in the schools, because as we spoke earlier, fellas, this land was stolen. Then when they said they wanted to give it back, they didn't give it back. We had nowhere to go. And little children in 7th and 8th grade, teenagers that hear about this, they're going to say, hey, wait a minute. We were taught stealing is bad. Stealing is wrong. And they're going to ask the teacher, why did we steal this in 1866 for a woman that actually bought the land and resold the houses for $10 and they moved them out. So, yeah, Brownsville, Maryland, Frostburg State University, man, you are Mr. Ed of the week. No sense in, I mean, it's just, this story blew my mind. And this article is super long. It was out of Frostburg State University in Maryland that actually wrote this article. One of the ladies, LaShawn Williams, which is an African American that went to the university, graduated. She wrote this article.
Where can you find that article? Where is it?
The bottom line, Frostburg State University. The bottom line is pretty much a student news organization, and she wrote this article in 2015 in her senior year, and yeah, she did her research, and that's why, like I said, when things happen in a certain area, I love to get the insight from people that either live there or she went to the university.
It's personal.
It's personal. So yeah, Frostburg State University now sits on top of what was called Brownsville, Maryland, named after Tamar Brown, young African American lady that was freed and purchased that land, and it was stolen.
And what you say that it get the what of the week?
Mr. Ed of the week.
Mr. Ed of the week.
Ed of the week.
Here we go.
There you go.
There you go.
Childish.
You need to go find your pajamas, Mr. Ed.
You need to go find your pajamas because you are exposed.
You are exposed.
There's one thing I wanted to say though on that though, man. The type of work that I do, I'm seeing regentrification every day, and I be on the phone with Safa a lot of the times when I roll up to these houses, man. And Safa know, man, I be like, boy, I'm not going to even say what I be saying when I be rolling up on these houses because it don't be nice to our Edomite brothers, But it bothers me, man, because I know how they acquired what it is that they acquired. Mm-hmm. And, here, when you listen to that story that you just did, they pressured these people to sell their homes for a whole $10.
$10.
And somebody would say, well, $10 was a lot of money during that time. $10 was not a lot of money, not enough to be trying to sell your house for at no time. You dig what I'm saying? At no time, man. So that just goes to show you, and it goes back to what we were saying. If you ever question who the real Hebrew Israelites are that is in this earth, just go back and read Deuteronomy chapter 28.
That's it.
You don't have to believe Kyrie. You don't have to believe Ye. You don't have to believe us. You ain't got to believe Elder Rikai. You ain't got to believe Elder, what's his name at the IUIC. You ain't got to believe. Just go read and go read and then observe. Read and observe. Read and observe. And you will see.
You'll see. You'll see.
You will see.
Read and look up.
It's not that hard.
Right.
Read it. How you do it? How you what you say, Safa? Just read and look up.
You look up. That's it. It's right
look
there.
Up. It's right there.
Adding up here. This 2 + 2 is 4.
Right.
Yeah. You dig what I'm saying? So they and this is the thing with that too. I've always said it was refreshing to me to find out that we were the children of Israel, Safa and Ayo, because it answered the question as to why are we always at the bottom of the totem pole?
Always.
It answered that question for me. I never could get it, man. Even when I was young, I never could understand why we always get the short end of the stick. Deuteronomy 28 explained. And with that, it made me understand that every time that we try to overcome, every time we try to get over that hump, every time we try to come together as a people, it wasn't meant for us to. This is what we got to understand. The punishment that we are receiving is medicine to make us get back to our power. Yep. So if we overcome, if we get over the hump, if we come together as a people, then we're going to just do the same thing that we did the first time, which is forget who it is that got us this far. The medicine is the punishment. The medicine is the conditions in which we live in over here in America. So with that being said, man, read and look up. Like Oxafar said, just read and look up.
Yeah, like I said, the Most High, we talked before, the Most High said, man, by the time I get done with y'all gonna want everybody to be saved.
Yeah. Oh, and that works.
Everybody.
Everybody. You're gonna
So
want
that's where I'm
Everybody.
at now. I guarantee you that much.
right. By the yep.
Everybody.
Yeah, but I
Exactly.
wonder how much. I wonder how many of us are buried and how much cities are pushed down deeper.
Man, like I said,
That's a lot, man.
I thought it was just the South, but when you showed me this, I'm like, man,
Right,
this
that's
thing
right.
had to be going on all over the United States.
Well, you know Central Park. You know Central Park in New York. There
that's
used to be a
another
black community. There was a black community, man, and they built a whole park over it.
I
Yeah.
went down
Over it.
that. Yeah, I went
Over
down
it.
that
Yeah.
rabbit hole
They
when
built
I
a whole
searched Brownsville. I was like, Central Park too. I was like,
Central
bro,
Park too.
that's crazy.
And people go there every day. Well, just
Every
here in
day.
Houston, Texas, man. In let me tell you how they do us, man. They have no regard of our old or the young or even our dead. Here
And
in
we're
Houston,
solid.
Texas, in a suburb that's called Sugarland, they found a burial ground, man, of all black people. 9 times out of 10, they were slaves. They not even doing nothing respectful to the bodies at all. They just, you know what I'm saying? They just gonna go on with business as usual. Now think if that had been a burial ground that they found full of Jews.
Come on, bro.
They would have that joker locked. They'd have that joker locked down like it was Antarctica, right?
What?
Get it out.
They would.
It's like it was Antarctica. There's no such thing as Antarctica. That's fable.
Oh, my bad. You see? But because it was black bones that they found, they gonna regard them. They gonna regard them as nothing.
Nothing.
They're gonna regard them as nothing. Business as usual. You dig what I'm saying? So
it just sees real quick. It just sees that it shows whenever stuff happens to us, it's like, oh, those people, man.
Those people.
But when it happens to them, it's, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
God, my Father, how can we do that to your people? Like, it's just, and it's this comparison to me, and I know to y'all in our audience, there's no comparison to what happened. It's just none. But like you said,
no. You said to what? Did you say to what is happening or to what is happening? Because it is continuing.
Happened, right. What has and is.
Because it's continuing to happen.
It's continuing.
Still to this day, yeah.
Still to this day.
It's continuing to happen.
You know, they, like I said, these waters are receding and finding these cargo ships or slave ships. Or it didn't say slave ship. They're not going to have slave ship written on it.
Right. And I do not want to knock it out the park. Exactly. 3 Hebrew boys, Deuteronomy 28 knocks it out of the park. Exactly. I'm gonna come back to that right there. You just said something, man. Man, I hate that I just forgot what it was. You just said something that it brought a thought to my head. I can't even remember what it was. Let me jump over here to this Deuteronomy 28:68 what the 3 Hebrew boys is talking about right here. And I was sharing this with Oxafar last night. I'm doing some research right now, and we talking about things that was happening in the North. I'm gonna make a long story short here. I'm gonna make a long story really short here. In the research that I was studying in the 13th through 16th century, North America, which was then called British Americas, the Europeans referred to it as North Africa and Egypt.
There you go. There you go.
Did you hear what I said?
There you go. I stopped in my track last night. I sat up in my bed
I was reading this last night, and we both had to stop and we was looking at this and we was like, this is saying that North America is Africa. And then I read a little bit more. It called North America Egypt, and these were the terms that they were calling them. I would send you back to Egypt by way of ship. This is what they were calling North America.
Yep. It's in their records. It's in their public records.
So
it's
then
in their books.
Think about Memphis, Egypt, and Memphis, Tennessee. Makes you think about the Ohio mounds, the
Come on now.
pyramids that's underground, and that's
Look, man, they have caves. They have caves in in Arizona, not only Arizona, but in the Grand Canyon as well, that they got blocked off, that they won't even allow people to go into.
Right. It's got Hebrew right there, and Hebrew cuneiform and Egyptian hieroglyphics on the walls. Yep, I heard about that.
Exactly. So yeah, man, I don't want to take up too much time there. That's something for a later show. But yeah, man, they themselves call this place North America, not South, because this also, I want to set this up. This was before the 13 colonies was even formed, but it was still North America. It was before the 13 colonies was even formed. And this is when it was called British Americas. So Britain was still controlling this thing at this particular time. And they was calling this place Africa. And they was also referring to it as Egypt. Let's get this Ak Ish in, man. If y'all don't know nothing about this brother here, y'all finna hear some real hip hop right here. Let's get it. Man, this brother here. That's some real Detroit right here. You dig?
Yeah, I guess something else.
Yeah, this is real Detroit.
It is written in your law, it is said to your gods, if you can't endure until the end, watch you die like men. It is written in your law, it is said to your gods, if you can't endure until the end, watch you die like men. Why am I so angry? This main GS system is depressing. After my allegiance to it, I'm not interested. I do my work and go home. I'm at that age where my tolerance isn't long-winded. I go into a complete rage. Cats be like, relax, burn a little sage. Shut up, idiot. When the smoke clears, we all still slaves here. We're the 99 percentile, both the Jew and the Gentile. It's a journey to the grave, single file. There's a percent left that's trying to escape death. They uses every breath to plot and had this planet to themselves. And guess what you want? Not a total complete overhaul. You rather be that brand new 1%. Heck is wrong with y'all. I've read the book of James, the woe that comes a must. Due to capitalism, chapter 5, your goal is turn to rust. Weeping how, then turn to dust. Gon' secure the bag, yep, oppression will make a wise man mad. You gon' die like that. To your gods, if you can't endure until the end, watch you die like men. Watch you die like men. Watch you die like men. It is written in your law, it said to your gods, if you can't endure until the end, watch you die like men. Watch you die like men. Yeah. Watch you die like men. I know what you thinking. It ain't no way for us to duck and dodge. Akish is something different, dude. He's gonna be a problem. Damn skippy. Homie rap is iffy. But I can spit, so I keep a slight advantage on them. I would not submit. It has never crossed my mind to quit. I was chosen to bang it out with tone over the heat he be composing. All the while opposing everything unrighteous, I'm supposing. Ain't about to take this sitting down, my door on earth is closing. A quick message to the oppressed, they all hate you. Simply because of who you are. Chill, ain't no breakthrough. Quit trying to join their ranks to template his theirs. Either you with them or against them. Bottom line, nobody cares. If everything was equal, the system wouldn't work. It needs an imbalance, therefore it needs your feet to hit the dirt. That's brutal honesty, indiscriminate truth. Somebody gotta break the cycle, time to turn it loose. Come on. If you can't endure until the end, watch you die like men. Watch you die like men. Watch you die like men. It is written in your law, it said to your gods, if you can't endure until the end, watch you die like men. Watch you die like men. Yo, I yearn to be redeemed from under the curse of it. I'm called a fascist. I'm none of these damn titles, I just hate these social classes. We've been indoctrinated from birth for this school, besides the means to teach they bidden and create that human pool. Bro, I'm cool, but I'm no fool. We in modern times functioning by Babylonian rule. Nimrod's alive and well, ain't he? The mighty hunter. He stalks us all and we'll do anything to ease the hunger. We'll always be amongst you. I wonder why, because the system never changes. People live and people die. They can't hang, they get high, can't get by without submission. Once this occurs, it's hard to take a breath without permission. What the heck you think they cooking up in Hell's Kitchen? Soup? That's that witchcraft, divination, roots. Oops, I probably said a little bit too much. The best that I should go. Somebody pulled up in the front, they at the door. You about to die like man. Lord, say to your gods, if you can't endure until the end, watch you die like man. Watch you die like man. But in the end, you're gonna die like man. It is written in your law to set to your cause. If you can't endure until the end, watch you die like man. It is written in your law to set to your cause. If you can't endure until the end, watch you die like man. It is written in your law to set to your cause. If you can't endure until the end, watch you die like men.
Yes, sis. Say, man, might have to wait, let the smoke clear for a little bit.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Just
It don't take us much to get the point across.
Right, drop some
That was a simple video, but a lot was to say, man.
bombs on that. Good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Drop a nut.
Exactly. He got a track with Travis Snipes. I want to believe it's
Oh man. Oh,
Ooh.
boy.
smoking, man. I'm telling you,
Man.
Bruh.
smoking. Yeah.
Brothers, man.
And I looked at his well, I'm always on his YouTube because I'm always listening to his music. The brother don't get that many views, man. I just don't be understanding, man. That's the thing we be talking about, but that's for a whole nother conversation.
I'm gonna zip it, lock it, throw away the key.
Yeah.
I don't understand how a brother making music. I making music like that, man, and you only got 300 views, 200 views, but but that's for a whole nother conversation. But let's get into it, man. We got missing girls.
Hey, he could. He could have more. You know how they do us. They snub us.
This is facts.
Yeah,
That's
this is
'cause
facts.
we know because I'm gonna have to subscribe to us.
Yeah.
And it's all pure about you, and I still gotta keep subscribing and turn the channel lock off. I can't even get in the comments.
That's facts. But I think in Ox's case, it's just not people
Just not
don't support.
the foot tire.
It's not support.
Because it ain't popular to
Yeah,
support.
I tried to take up for us,
Right.
Yasharal. I tried.
No, Yasharal.
I tried.
Y'all honey
Spread
down.
out, cry not.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know, man. I'm not gonna even get off into that there, but say, there will be more Ak-ish coming on this show, though, just to let you know. We will be hearing more Ak-ish on this show. But there is missing girls that was happening on Kansas City Police Department's watch. And that's nothing strange, right? To have missing people on the police watch. What was strange was how it was handled. Could you imagine, and I'm asking you guys, could you imagine knowing that your baby was missing and you go to the authorities, whom you pay taxes to, by the way, right? Whom you pay taxes to, going to the authorities, and the authorities tell you that there's nothing we can do because your story has no merit. But that's just one person, right? That's just you going to the authorities, right? This was a whole community here in Kansas City, Missouri, going to the authorities, telling them that, hey, I believe that there is a serial killer amongst us, and they are preying on our young black girls. At this particular time, there was 4 dead and 3 that was missing, right? But the police told them that, this is what the police told them. I got it written down here. Police came to him and told him that, where is it at? That the story is completely confounded. That's what they told him.
What's that mean?
The story is completely confounded. In other words, y'all making this up. Right. We have nothing to build a case on.
Right.
What community do you know that don't know if they have people missing or not.
Right. That is hard for me to think of one.
You see, and the thing that really brought me to this story, Safa and Ayo, was, you remember Gabby Petito?
I was just, yes. Oh, yes. Yes.
Gabby Petito woke us up in the morning. Gabby Petito carried us through our day. Gabby Petito put us to sleep at night.
Yep.
And guess what? Gabby Petito is still in the news today.
To this day.
Little white girl.
To this day.
Blonde head.
Come on now.
White girl.
Gross.
Come up missing, and they shut the whole country down.
That's all you heard.
Now the family is about to get rewarded $3 million.
Yep.
A whole $3 million. When these people in Kansas City was telling the police department, hey, we got either a serial molester, right? We have a serial molester in town and or a serial killer, and they tell them that the story is completely confounded.
Man.
You know what broke the case? Let me tell you what broke the case. What broke the case was a female by the name of Lisa Johnson. She came across a half-naked lady.
Entire.
She came across a half-naked lady that was shackled, had a dog collar around her neck.
That's strange.
Not only a dog collar, but she had a shock collar around her neck as well. And when Lisa Johnson saw, she told her, hey, I'm gonna call the police. And the girl became frantic and said, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. Why? Because the others that are with me, they may not make it. He done already killed too. You hear what I'm saying? Now the community been telling them that this has been going on in the neighborhood. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I got to thinking to myself, well, wait a minute, how long has this been going on? This has been going on for a long time. So long till you had a guy by the name of Bishop Caldwell. He had a video that went viral. Check this video out. This is our people crying for help. Tony Caldwell is his name.
I'm a little upset right now. The reason I'm upset is because we got 4 young ladies that have been murdered within the last week here off of 85th and Prospect. We got a serial killer again, and ain't nobody saying nothing. The media's not covering it. We got 3 young ladies that are missing. Ain't nobody saying a word. What is the problem? Why can't we get some cooperation? Where's our community leaders? Where's our activists? Where's our public officials? Where's our police department? Where is those folks at? In President Gardens. Come on now. We need to start knocking doors. We need to start making sure that this is brought to the light. We cannot continue to let this happen.
Did you hear what he said? No media is talking about it. The only media,
I said the same thing.
the only media that was talking about it was from a guy who is the founder and executive producer of a paper that is called Kansas City Defender. His name is Ryan Sorrell. He had been writing about it while the community had been talking to the police about it. And this is what the police was telling them, that there is no basis to support these rumors. So you can't tell me that the police did not know that these things was happening, man. That's what missing girls on Kansas City Police Department watch. They had to know that these girls was missing. So what was the cover up? Was he a cop? Was he a brother of a police?
Right. It's got to be something. And if you want to, he go right here. Man, if you don't look like everybody familiar with wrestling back in the day, man, if you don't
got
look
a picture of him?
like
Right.
Mankind, that's Mick Foley, Mankind.
That's Mick Foley.
His name is Timothy Hazlitt Jr. And
he
the
look like a
headline
kid.
says, malnourished woman escapes residence. Now, come
That's
on,
it.
bro. Come on, y'all.
That's it.
Come on, y'all.
Malnutrition.
That's it.
Boy,
This guy here, he was 39 years old. Put him back up there. He's 39 years old. Timothy Hazlitt. He was arrested. Check this out, man. This guy was arrested for kidnapping, torture, and rape of the woman that escaped. Did you hear what I just said? Of the woman that escaped. She escaped from his house. But when they went in his house, guess what? There was even more people in his house. Wow. Why is this not made national coverage?
Like Yame said, that it's probably one of them. Like you brought that, you said something. You said it either had to be a brother or maybe he used to work for them. Maybe he used to be an officer. You know what I'm saying?
You see?
Something.
Exactly.
There is no way this can just get swept up under the rug and a pastor.
This can't get by no whole police department.
Right. Exactly.
It can't.
Yeah,
she said he has some. He's gonna kill the other ones.
Right.
He already killed how many? Already two.
Two had already been killed. Now at this particular, you had two that she know of.
Right.
But at this particular time, there was.
This ain't man. You have to practice this behavior.
Right. He just didn't start. Thank you, Safar. Thank you for
exactly.
He didn't wake up the other morning and be like, "Oh, let me just start kidnapping some black women
and carving." Yeah.
Come on, bro.
The responses of the police is what get me. Is that there is no basis to support the rumors. In other words, we're not going to even investigate it. We're not even going to give you guys the time of the day. We're not going to even listen to what it is that you are talking about. And so, in other words, whoever was doing this, they were safe.
Yeah.
They were safe. This is what I need you guys to understand. He was safe until this girl found a way to escape. If she never had escaped to this day, there would still be missing girls in Kansas City, and the police will not be doing anything about it. Check this out. This right here is an article. Former Kansas City police detective. He was indicted on sexual charges. His name is Roger Gillespie. He is a white guy accused of using his power as a law enforcement officer to sexually abuse two black women. That's what he did. And when you go into the story, you will see the Kansas City Police Department knew about this. This was not something that was foreign to the Kansas City Police Department, what Robert Gillespie was doing. And so they always talking about back to blue, right? That's what we always hear, back to blue. They always say that we want to mend the separation between the police and the community. How can the community trust you when we go to you with our problems and you look us in the face and tell us that, hey, there is no basis to support these rumors?
Yeah,
how you gonna tell me it's a rumor with my whole baby missing?
Right. It's almost like pretending because okay, here's a great opportunity to show you got the black community back. Like you just said, let's bridge the gap. Let's mend.
What? It ain't voting time. Voting over with. We don't need to do that no more.
Look, I'm gonna tell you. This guy, man. I listened to this guy, Ryan Sorrell, the editor and the founder of this paper. He's a young guy, so you know, young people think differently from old people, right?
Yeah,
he was on a panel with some old. He was on a panel with some older people, and the older people were steadily talking about voting. We need to vote in the right people that's going to defend our people. This youngster was up there, and they was not hearing what he was saying. This youngster was like, no, we don't need to be voting. How is it that we can change the behavior that this police department has been exerting to our people for over the years? In fact, it can't change. We shouldn't even want to change it, right? And I'm with this dude 100%. Who know what the original purpose of the Black Panthers was? Come on, y'all know. It was the original purpose of the Black Panther Party. What was the original purpose?
To liberate our
people. Do what?
The protection of the neighborhood. Depend on each other.
Right.
Why do we continue to depend on them to protect us? See? If you played football, am I correct?
Oh yeah.
Who policed y'all locker room?
We did.
Who did?
We did.
Y'all policed that locker room, right?
Yeah. The captains.
The coach, the head coach didn't even police that locker room, did he?
No. That's why they choose captains, because the coaches, they like, look, We ain't got time to be babysitting with X's and O's to do. We got captains. Butler, TR, you a captain. You get 3 other captains. So I was a captain. You had 3 other captains. You made sure that locker room, no stealing, none of that crazy stuff. So yeah, we did it.
You did it. We can protect ourselves.
That's the key. That's the key, y'all.
We can protect ourselves, man. But every time we try to do something like that, we get labeled as black extremists.
That's it. They want to keep the control, and they'll go at any lengths. Just like right before we jumped on, I heard that somewhere, I can't remember where it was, but some kind of Jewish cemetery was vandalized.
Right.
And of course, who they gonna say?
Yeah.
But how could we do it? We got so many problems of our own right now. We ain't got time to be going spray painting tombstones or vandalizing a Jewish cemetery.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. So it's just control, man.
I want to bring this out too, man. Check this out. This is all in Kansas City, man.
Wow.
Kansas City, boy.
This is this guy here name was Cameron Lamb. I don't know if you remember this name or not, but the ex-police officer, they sentenced him to 6 years for killing this black man during a response to a traffic incident. Now, the police name was Eric DeValconer. This was the first man in the history of Kansas City police-dom that a police was arrested, tried, and convicted for killing one of his citizens, right? And this was back in 2022, but they sentenced him to 6 years. But guess what? He still ain't been in jail yet. He walked out of the courthouse.
Wow.
He's going to be a free man. He's going to be a free man until his appeal come up. Until his appeal come up. Man. Check this one out, man. You had a guy by the name of Ryan Stokes. The federal court has ruled a Kansas City officer cannot be held liable in the death of an unarmed man he shot and killed in 2013. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the 8th District ruled Tuesday affirmed the 2020 District Court decision that determined William Thompson had qualified an official immunity in the deadly shooting of Ryan Stokes. Make this make sense.
Yeah,
make this make sense. How is there going to be some type of, you see what I'm saying? You guys are steadily ishing on us.
Yeah.
And every time somebody say something, just like Job said earlier about somebody else, oh, how could you say that? How could you be like that? Right. That's so insensitive. But everybody is so comfortable with dealing with us any kind of way that they want to.
And on top of that, real quick, my bad. On top of that, everybody seem to have not do that LGBT stuff. Everybody has their own task force and protection.
Exactly. Everybody does, except for us. Except for us. I got one more here. It says the investigation continues 1 year. Check this out, man. They still investigating this one. 1 year after a Kansas City Police Department officer shot and killed Malcolm Johnson. Child care needs in spotlight after parents miss work to I'm sorry. Malcolm Johnson cell phone. This guy was backing up his car in his garage. Backing up his car in his garage. I don't know what all this other stuff that I printed here. I'm sorry about that. I was reading out some stuff. This guy was bagging his car up in his garage, and the police shot him, and they still investigating this matter. Look, man, I don't care who you are, what you are, where you are. You all police, and you guys have heard me say this many a times. You should be held to a higher standard because of your job. When you put that weapon on your side, that is a responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
That is a responsibility that do not give you a license to kill. But so many times, you know why it's so easy for the police to kill us, man? It's because this right here, every time they do it, the court side with them.
Yeah.
And there is a reason why. I remember the other day when we was setting up the show, we was talking about the Dred Scott case. Remember? And the three Hebrew boys, I put this comment up because he says, remember, we are still 3/5 of being human. That's still on record. Well, that record comes from the Dred Scott decision of 1857. So
we was talking about that.
We was talking about that, and I dug a little bit more to find out. I ain't quite there yet, but this will maybe give you why it is in Missouri and in Kansas City this is happening. So what happened, the Missouri Compromise, which was in 1820, it was the legislation admitted Missouri as a slave state and Maine as a non-slave state at the time. So as not to be upset between the balance of slave and free states in the nation. So it outlawed slavery above the 36th and the 30th degree latitude line in the remainder of the Louisiana Territory. So what a judge did, check this out. Chief Justice Roger Taney and 6 other justices ruled that the Missouri Compromise that I just read was illegal because Congress had no power to prohibit slavery in those territories, and slave masters were guaranteed property rights under the 5th Amendment. So the Dred Scott case decision of 1857 was overturned and is still on the books. Going back to the three Hebrew boys comment,
3/5 of a man.
The judges ruled that this was not on the books. It is still there. It is up to the states to decide what they want to do when it comes to regarding the law, when it comes to us.
When it comes to us.
So that's why
crazy.
Kansas
just because of the coordinations.
Right, because of the latitude.
Because of the coordinate. Get out of here, man.
So in all reality, what you telling us that in Missouri and Kansas City, they job has nothing to do with us to begin with.
And that right. And that's what go look it up. The Missouri is the
I believe.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying to the audience.
Yeah.
Don't take our word for it, guys. This is even in 2016, Mike Huckabee was on Fox News talking about it. He was like, this stuff is happening. We ain't got a
public record now.
Yeah, and here we are right now discussing Kyrie Irving.
Right.
And the statement, and no, I'm lying. Not the statement that he said, and a link that he shared, and how hurtful that was to a group of people.
They got their feelings hurt.
But they got their feelings hurt. And now you want to charge him $500,000. Yeah. He got to go through all of this singing and dancing because of how hurtful he is. When we got a whole community of people missing babies, and you telling them that there is no merit to the rumors that you were talking about. In other words, we don't care. You know what? A line that was in Mississippi Burning Man that has always stuck with me when that sheriff sit up there and he said, you know what NAACP mean to me? Y'all remember that part? He said, niggas, alligators, apes, coons, and possums.
Ain't that something?
What possums do? How they get involved?
Go and look at the history. Go and look at the history of what the police is to begin with.
Oh yeah, slave patrol.
Officer, the overseers, slave patrol, just like the brother said. And we got this thing so twisted, man. The problem is that we trust oppression. Did not the prophet Isaiah tell us that?
Yep.
We trust oppression. It burns me up to hear our people, Ayob and Safar say, we need to vote people in that care about us.
Come on now.
It's saying to me, it blows my mind, man. I couldn't even get it. It blows my mind so bad I can't even hardly talk and get it out.
You did?
I'm over here studying.
How often who in the world do you know that is running for any political office that's gonna care about us? Look, homosexuals got more rights than us. No, I'm just to go even further. Dogs have more rights than us. Right. They got whole commercials that run late at night. A little shivering dogs look like they got diseases, and they telling you to send money because you can adopt a dog.
Now I love our pets and our dog owners and cat owners, but if I see one more of them commercials that you just talked about with a shivering dog,
yeah,
boy,
with the woman playing the piano in the background.
Right. How he said on the what he say on the clump? He said, "Boy, my grandmother wolf, you want my wolf?"
Say, you know that's the same. You know that's the same music they play on them Jews commercials. You know they got that Jewish. They got that Jewish commercial.
That old
You
white
can
woman
see
with the
them.
fat nose. And she look like she just got through cooking children. And in that little hut. Yeah, say man, that's
the same music, man. Same music.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. They got laws. The
Yeah,
untouchables. Y'all know who I'm talking about. We're gonna call them code word. The untouchables. They got laws to protect them. You can't be anti-untouchable. If you
can't
say
be anti,
Kyrie Irving got in trouble for it, Yaden got in trouble for it. But there's
Jaylen Brown in trouble for it right now.
Brown is in trouble. He got benched for the Celtics. We talked about him a few weeks ago with the Ime Udoka situation. That brother stuck up for Kyrie. He got benched, y'all. So all that's going on while in the same time, there are different states. The nation don't have to regard us. Any laws is up to the states. That's actually
exactly,
bro. Make sense.
So, and all it is doing, though, all this is doing is proving what these brothers are saying is true.
That's it.
The more they act in the way that they're acting, the more it's causing our people to become more curious and to go and find out who these people are that shut everybody down. That's what me and my wife say. If y'all is not they, y'all need to go on and tell on they, because right now this show looking like y'all is they. I don't know why y'all sitting up taking the credit for being they if y'all not they. Because they is acting a fool out here and shutting everybody down.
Yeah.
Bro, we're gonna have to have all of our wives on the show, cause my wife said the same thing. Like, they only showing that they are they.
You know what I'm saying?
Look, with the real they, please stand up. And
with the real they, please stand up.
Standing up. Oh, they get mad, boy.
Y'all get mad until they say they. Well, you're the they. Who is they then? Because right now, you know what? Y'all is looking like they. Yeah. Who is they? They who say they are Jews and are not. But are the synagogue of Satan. That's who y'all looking like. Y'all looking like they.
And y'all actions and the way y'all going is provoking me to jealousy. So now I need to sit there.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Romans.
They have misconstrued Ye's comments too. When you listen to what Ye said, when he said, "I'm jealous of the untouchables," because, and they want to say that he's saying that what he's doing is showing the spirit of what the Most High said he was going to do, which was move us to jealousy.
Right, provoke us to jealousy. Move us to jealousy.
Move it right.
Like I said, it's working. Because like I said, the Most High said, y'all gonna want everybody to be saved. By the time I get done with you, that's how the 1,000 years reign of peace is gonna come. Because it's gonna be encoded in your DNA, not to ever have a time like this. We ain't gonna let it happen.
Look good, man. Come on, look good, man. Have you ever gotten? I done it before, man. I was a little bad as a youngster. I done got in so much trouble that I got into a different type of trouble. I did something. I ain't never doing that no more. You dig what I'm saying? And that's where we at right now. Look, man, we are the generation whose teeth are set on edge because our forefathers ate the grapes. That's us right now, right? Look.
Bring it out.
We should be upset with our forefathers, but at the same time, look, learn from this lesson and understand, look, we ain't going through this here no more.
Right.
We ain't doing this no more. Right. You dig what I'm saying? Go back and read Jeremiah, man, and look at 2 Esdras, man. Both of them was like, look, man, what is wrong with y'all? Will y'all stop acting like this here?
Right. Because Ecclesiastes 7:7, oppression drive a wise man mad. So man, that's what I'm at. I'm there, bro. I'm there.
Hey, we gotta keep it moving, man. We got a couple of more to hit, man. We got another song again. This one here is by Moshe Ben Yehuda. It's called Royalty.
Yeah.
We're going to get this one in, and we're going to come back with another story. Here we go.
I'll meet that guy one day.
Shade. Y'all know what Mubs got beats. Royalty, yeah. First up is you gotta show your loyalty. Keep the laws and commandments over mortality. James 1 and 12, that's the only way to royalty. Royalty, yeah. First up is you gotta show your loyalty. Keep them laws and commandments over mortality. James 1 and 12, that's the only way to royalty. Royalty, yeah. Royalty, yeah. Royalty, yeah. Royalty, yeah. Royalty, yeah. Royalty, yeah. If there rules up in your house, my father got them cheating. I'll be damn if I be dumb and break my father's rules. If he said not to do it, then I bet I won't do it. If he tell me get to moving, watch me run for it. Run force, run force. I've been trying to reach my goal like an extra point. Run for it, and run for it. I know on royalty, my father said he coming for it. You be stealing everything, you animal snip. That's the only reason that you dirty bricks so filthy rich. My people think we poor, but we the wealthiest. You revelation 2 and 9, got all other nations bitch. The last 71st, that's just the way it is. I'll be fishing for so many, so trying to make my amends. Break 'em, man. I'll break 'em, man. Royalty is in my blood, I'm trying to walk with righteousness. Royalty, yeah. First up is you gotta show your loyalty. Keep the laws and commandments over mortal things. James 1 and 12, that's the only way to royalty. Royalty, yeah. First up is you gotta show your loyalty. Keep them laws and commandments over mortal things. James 1 and 12, that's the only way to royalty. Royalty, yeah. Royalty, yeah. Royalty, yeah. Royalty, yeah. Royalty, yeah. Royalty, yeah. I gotta reach the kingdom. I gotta run for it. Run for it. I gotta reach the kingdom. I gotta run for it. Run for it. We Israelites, yeah, we Israelites. He coming for us. We Israelites, yeah, we Israelites. He coming for us. Coming for us.
Brother say, run, Forrest. Run, Forrest.
Yeah. Run, Forrest. That joint hot.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yes, yeah.
Hey, Yehuda.
Let's get on to the next story here. You got to be up under a rock if you ain't heard about this one. What we got, brother?
So, real quick, I'm sure everybody's been hearing about this. First, may she, rest. Condolences to her family as they are trying to figure out. I know her mom, Shaquille Robinson, out of my hometown, Charlotte, where I grew up and raised before I moved here to South Carolina. Her mother had been in contact with the Mexican authorities and doing media, speaking to the media concerning her daughter's death and the controversy that's surrounding it. But as of right before I came on the show, I see her father is now talking to the media. And, I think fathers, we have a different type of mindset, especially, when it comes to our daughters, whenever they are hurt. The Shaquille Robinson story, man. Shaquille Robinson out of Charlotte, North Carolina. So, as you can see her picture right here on screen, she is now deceased. And this is going right along with the lines of what we're talking about, what's going on in Kansas City, Missouri. But unfortunately, she died at the hands of her her so-called best friends, people that looked exactly like her, people that they went to Cabo, Mexico for a vacation. It says that Shaquille Robinson, and now it's tough to try to find, even though this is starting to gain traction to be everywhere. It's still, I had to go to a blog site to get this information. They had an updated story later on earlier today. So Shaquille Robinson, 25 years old, was found dead after traveling to Mexico with her friends. The group went there for one of her friends' birthday. Shaquille Robinson was with her best friend Khalil Cook and the other 5 on a trip to Cabo, Mexico. As per sources, her mother Salmundra was told that she spoke with Shaquille the night before. Now check this out. So here's where Shaquille told her mother that they were getting ready to eat salad and tacos. Salmundra wished her a good night and told her we'll talk tomorrow. Apart from Shaquille and Khalil, 5 other people supposedly were also killed. We're going to get into that story in a minute. Her friends told her that toxic material took her life. So we're not going to play the video because the video is a little graphic. But it's a video circulating the net that they had her and her best friend, they had a fight. Shaquille really didn't fight back.
They said she was already so far gone drunk that she couldn't be coherent, that it was just a body bag.
Right, and you can tell in the video that they had been drinking. So there was a fight. They left her in the bed. The friends hopped on a plane back to Charlotte early, left her there. When they got back to Charlotte, told her mother Salmundra, hey, she died of alcohol poisoning. She's dead. They didn't call her from the spot, which a best friend would call you from there to let you know we're going to pay for you to hop on the next plane to Mexico. Something's happened to Shaquille. They didn't do that. They hopped on the plane early flight back to Charlotte to tell her face to face, like, look, she died. She's dead. She died of alcohol poisoning.
Oh, they actually went to the house. They actually went.
That's supposedly they actually went to the home and spoke with Salmundra, the mother, and said, hey, Shaquille wasn't feeling good. She's dead. She died from alcohol and food poisoning. So it says Shaquille's friend said she died because of alcohol poisoning. Wasn't true. Her autopsy reports did not show any sign of alcohol poisoning. As per the autopsy, Shaquille's spine was brutally cracked and her neck was broken. So apparently she was beaten. It said that her head did show signs of forced blunt trauma. So as per the sources, the cause of her death may be a cracked back, spine, and broken neck, but the actual cause of death is not revealed yet. Once again, the viral video also shows that Shaquille was beaten, but by one of her friends. Now they have made arrangements. So Shaquille's obituary and funeral is scheduled for the 19th, which I believe is tomorrow, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then her funeral is going to be a private funeral to be held at Macedonia Baptist Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I know exactly where that is. We used to live 2 minutes down the road from it. So yeah, they're making arrangements for her homegoing service this weekend. It's a sad story, right along with the Kansas City, Missouri story. As you can see when I read it, there's not a lot of information coming out from the Mexican authorities. For some reason, they are being hushed on this. So my question, and I'm sure you guys have a question or a commentary in a minute. My biggest question is, what happened? They said her face was bruised. She had blunt force trauma to the head. Her lips were split. But what happened to her during the 2 days? Apparently, she was in that bed in the room by herself. That's my question.
This is crazy, man. I know the mom did say it costed her $6,000 just to get her home.
Thank you. Yes, just to get her body home. Yep.
$6,000 to get her home. And then America is not going to even touch it. It put it straight in the hands of Mexico.
Right.
So, we constantly keep going there. and get killed. And I brought out on the phone with all of us, I recognized, realized that Mexico was hiding our bodies when Malcolm X's grandson got killed out there. He stayed in a lot of trouble like his grandfather, did good, started refining himself, and he went out full-fledged. He was known.
Yep.
He went to Mexico. Boom, that was it.
Yep.
Exactly.
And that's what I was saying earlier, guys. You bring up a good point, because to me, once again, Deuteronomy 28, you can look, like Ox said, read and look up. Just if you look at the curses, this self-hatred, this envy, this jealousy. She was a hair braider. She did kids' hair and braids in Charlotte. She had her own business. She was an entrepreneur. If you go watch the video, and the video is graphic, if you go watch the video, her best friend that was fighting her, you can hear her say, "I'm tired of you," or "I'm tired of this stuff."
Mm-hmm.
So
I thought it was her best friend that was actually recording it.
Okay, recording.
That was the best friend. Wow. That was encouraged, supposedly. Right. Best friend, put it like that. That was telling her, at least fight. You dig what I'm saying?
And instead
that spirit right there alone. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you still go ahead. Go ahead.
Like you're saying, that spirit is what, like, you filming instead of putting the phone down and helping break it up.
Best friend, we gonna way back 4 flats, baby.
Come on, 4 flats Cadillac. Like this is. And it's just astounding to me that the guy that's hurt, one of the friends that was there, he's going on blogs and going live trying to clear his name. These bloggers done got the flight records of you when you said you weren't there, but they got the flight records that you was there 3 or 4 hours before it happened, so they know that y'all were there. So once again, the United States is like, look, our hands are off of it. We're going to leave it in Mexico's hands. And Mexico is like, that's why this blog and everywhere you read is saying she may have died from it, because they don't know, because they're not doing anything. How do you know? How do you say she got a broken vertebrae in her neck and a back and that's blunt force trauma to the head, right? And y'all don't know the exact, come on, y'all.
To have those type of injuries occur from car accidents or from falling off of a horse or falling down some stairs or something like that. Those are not those are not injuries that is conducive to where when the coroner looks at it and say that these are the injuries that sustain, you would automatically feel like at the end of that report is going to be death by homicide. That's what you would think that you're going to say. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the report, death by homicide, right? What caused the death, we don't know, because honestly, I believe that if she had got the proper medical attention in due time, she will probably be still here. You ask a very valid question. What was going on in those days before they left? Look, when people, this is almost like something out of a movie. Think about this, man. This is almost like a plot that is written out of a movie. And what's crazy is all of us that is on this panel right now, we're all about the same age. And I know our moms are pretty much the same. It's one thing about Black people is that generations are pretty much the same. Like we think the same for the most part. Our parents, generally had thought the same. And when certain crimes happened when we was kids, we knew by the nature of the crime if it was a white crime or Black crime. We knew by the nature of the crime. Now in today's time, man, these things are so blurred. We don't know.
The lines are blurred
to each other, man.
The lines are blurred. We are starting to commit crimes that we normally would not commit. Look, man. I talk to my daughter all the time about, my daughter is a lot like me in the sense of that she gonna be down with you 100, 10 toes in. You know what I'm saying? Where we differ at is that I'm gonna give you the same energy that you give me.
Right.
My daughter's heart is so big and so loving that she hasn't gotten to that point yet. You dig what I'm saying? That world, she wants to please you. You know what I'm saying? It's so, and I tell her to stay in this book of Sirach. Stay in Sirach. Sirach will give you the way of how you should live your life. And one of the things Sirach tell us is how we should choose our friends, man. You need to prove people.
Yep.
You need to learn how to prove people. This young lady went to Mexico with people that she thought that she could trust that had evil intentions for her from the time that they boarded the plane to the time that they touched down in Mexico because she talked to her mama. Her mama said, I never talked to her again. And less than 24 hours later, this young lady was dead by the hands of her friends. Now, the question that I have is this. This goes back to like the story that I just did a while ago, right? Police says that I have no merits to the rumors that you and you heard the guy, the bishop, say that it's not being talked about on TV, right? Well, Gabby Petito still being talked about. Why is it that when we go and look for this article, we can only find this article in like
blogs? Yeah.
This haven't came across my phone out in the Washington Post. This has not came across my phone in the New York Times. I have not heard about this on Good Morning America. I have not heard about this on The View. I have not. Why? Because it's one of us. Let that have had happened to one of them.
Bruh, you would, like I said, I had to dig and find this on it was a black blog site that actually has been doing research and actually said, we're going to report on this because like you just said, nobody, the mainstream media, ABC, MSNBC, you don't think, why isn't The View, y'all women, they love to be talking about women's rights on there. Okay, this would have been a great time to be like, hey, look, we need some answers. This is one of
because
our women that
we see with our own eyes, and I'm gonna tell you why it needs to be talked about. I don't want it to be talked about because just to be talked about. There's a reason why I want it to be talked about. We are seeing with our own eyes in live time the power of the media.
That's it. That's it.
America can't press charges against these people. Why? Because the murder took place in Mexico. The power of the media is we are going to put pressure on America to make America get with Mexico to make sure that there be some charges pulled up against these people so that we can have justice for Shanquelle Johnson. Is that her name? Did I say her name right?
Robinson. Yeah. Yeah, man. Exactly.
That's the power of the media. But if the media not talking about it, enough people don't know about it, which means that America is not forced to put pressure on Mexico.
Right. And by the way, her injury sound, man, honestly, it sounds like she got group stomped. Like they stomped
man,
and they only showed that could very well be true because they only showed that video was like 15 seconds.
What kind of society do we live in?
We both. That article, man, I know I found one of them that did say, there was a group jumping, all the friends, but they show that one person. But they say in one of them, because it was all the friends, they show the video, then the injuries come out. I'm like, man, they either they stumped her or this is because that is crazy, man. That's going straight down the line, man. That's a stomping.
Yeah, another story to say right along with this one, another story that is not being talked about in the media. You have to dig and dig. 3 more of us went to Mexico.
In Mexico.
Didn't make it back
Carbon
home.
monoxide poison. Wow. Exactly.
And here is the key, guys. Carbon monoxide poison, when they found the bodies 2 days, they said they laid in there 2 or 3 days. And the article talks about how there was some workers in the area or the neighbors beside this Airbnb. They said, oh yeah, we've been smelling gas the last couple of days. Well, if you seen somebody new, if you've been living somewhere for 10 years or 5 years or 2 years, and you know that there's an Airbnb beside you. And if you've seen cars not leave the driveway and people not come out of the house in a day, you're not going to go knock on the door and just go check. They
a well check.
Yeah, well check.
So Mexico, like I don't know. I know great vacationing spot. I get it. But as far as vacation right now, us, as far as Brazilian, they getting these body BBLs and not these women, y'all are not making it back home, man. We got to use wisdom and be careful when we traveling out of state. Like, you know, and once again, it goes with the curses. It goes with Deuteronomy 28. It seems like as the world is waking up to who we are, like I said, the Most High is like, I'm gonna get y'all attention. Y'all gonna cry out to me.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna cry.
You're gonna seek me 10 times more.
Right. Look at Takeoff, and you know
that's what I was gonna say, man. We talking about Mescal and put Houston on there too.
It's just right now the past month just haven't been a good month for Yehuda, man. I mean, we have it hard all the time. We have it hard all the time. I mean,
but I think what's going on, man, is that the Most High Spirit, His Ruach is doing two things. His Ruach is moving on us for more of us to start answering this call, and at the same time, His Ruach is withdrawing from the earth. And as it's withdrawing from the earth, we are starting to see what the scripture says, that the love of many is starting to wax cold. I was just telling my wife that the other day. I was like, look, man, I said, I was at Walmart. Let me say this, and we're going to go ahead and go to our next segment. I was at Walmart, and I was not being funny when I was saying this. I said, I don't know if the jab is starting to is beginning to set in on people or what I say, but everybody in this dadgum store, they all look weird.
Come on.
Everybody just look weird, man. It's like y'all look sick. And I'm not being, you know what I'm saying, funny. It's like I'm looking at people and people are not looking normal. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I cannot help but to understand that we are going into some times. We can see from when March 2020 started to now, it just began to digress. Man. So anybody that feel like anything is about to get any better, you was out of your rabbit.
Yeah. Yep. And that's deep to say when you say people at Walmart starting to look strange. I mean,
because they already look strange at Walmart.
That's a whole world in itself. If you would have said Target, Winn-Dixie, Cub Foods,
man, I was looking at them people and I was like, man, everybody, you could just see it on their face. Characters are changing. I'm gonna tell you, and the more these private bankers keep messing with this money, the crazier people are going to get too, man. It's dangerous out here.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to get dangerous out here.
Yep. And you, like you said, something so profound that we still, even to this day, not us in our audience, but a lot of us out here just still gloss over. There is no coincidence that 2019 and 2020, this thing been the 400 years, we sensed it. As soon as the 400 years is up, I said it. I was like, man, my Ruach could sense like, this is
through the confetti in the air on the inside.
I'm telling you, like you just said, ever since then, it's just been getting crazy.
Worse. The gig is up, man. That's the whole thing, man. The gig is up. And that's the thing. They are so nervous. We're gonna say this because we're gonna get to this last one, man. But these cats are so nervous that they have absolutely no idea what to do, man. Right. It's like because they are losing their power. Think about it. If you done had power over individual, if you done had power over somebody or a nation all of this time, man, how you think you gonna feel when you start seeing that you losing it, man? That's what they doing, man. Those who have been scared to talk against them is now talking against them.
Oh, man.
You see what I'm saying? Those who was trained to be quiet are no longer being quiet. Those whom you thought that you could control with money is not afraid of losing money. How many entertainers and anchor people you done heard say, I might lose my job for doing this, and go right in and say what it is that they gonna say.
Go in too. Go in all the way. Jason Williams went in. He was like, man,
You know why? Because they are losing their power. The gig is up.
Yep, shuffling paper everywhere.
Like you said, that's not in the script.
That ain't in the script.
They putting on glasses and everything.
Come on, Stanley. What are we gonna do? Stan.
Hey, somebody sing. Come on, somebody let that.
Yeah, somebody sing.
Somebody sing. Listen, but that's right. You're right. And I know we got to move on, but if we're having conversation about it, folks, just understand. On the phone right now, they got Zoom calls from the politicians down to the least of them in their kingdom. They are talking about this.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. Kyrie been giving them, you know how you get warnings, you get trembles before a big earthquake. Yep. Kyrie been giving them jokers warning for the longest, and they just was not paying attention to him.
They just ain't paying attention to that left jab.
They thought he was gonna stop at the jab.
He been jabbing him to death, boy.
Yeah, they thought they was gonna stop at the finger.
I've been paying attention to him. You dig what I'm saying? Let's keep it moving. I'm gonna run this little short commercial. We're gonna come on in our last segment of what's crazy in the news, and I want to thank everybody for sticking there with us. Let's get it. Last commercial here. Where is it at? There we go.
Yeah, I hear them chopping at the field of vibe. Spiritual lies, I can see inside. They want me to stumble when I don't even trip. 10 toes down, my chains got grip. Railroad mobbing, it's a beautiful ride. Roll down the window, it's me inside.
Keep going, keep praying. Study hard, free yourself. Yeah, you've been praying for me, I can tell. Yeah, I felt a boost of virtue out of nowhere.
Going in the nicotine, took me out of that. He did. Could have been on drugs, yeah, took me out of that. He did. Could have been gone from a natural use, took me out of that. Could have been dead, took me out of that.
Ain't nobody teach me nothing except G's don't cry. So these ain't tears, I got blood in my eye. Pardon the lie, but the truth is hella grimy and greedy. Another child sacrificed to the city.
Already say.
That's a well-produced ad. That is nice.
Yes, sir. Right, just line.
Music is power, man. Music is power. And that's one of the things we're gonna talk about next week. We're gonna talk about music next week. But let's get it, man. What we got, Safa? What's crazy in the news, brother?
We got Miss Vita Adams, a sister that 1979, 29 years old. She was on welfare. I believe it was $100 a check. Yeah. And let's find out what she tried to do to mend her issues with this video.
1979, a 29-year-old black lady by the name Elvita Adams jumped from Empire State Building's 86th and survived against all odds. It is reported that life had become extremely difficult for Elvita and her 10-year-old child, as she had lost her job and was living off welfare checks, which were not sufficient to pay her rent and take care of her son. Elvita, therefore, decided to end it all by jumping from the building, but something unexpected happened, as the young lady let herself off the 86th floor of the skyscraper. It was almost as though every element, including natural circumstances, were fully arranged to save the lady from losing her life. As she expected death by falling to the street below, strong wind gusts had saved her. The winds were so powerful that they blew Adams' body back, landing her on a 2.5-foot ledge on the 85th floor. A security guard who heard her in pain arrived at the floor's window and pulled her in. She was subsequently admitted to Bellevue Hospital with a fractured pelvis. It is indicated that Elvita Adams was the only person to fall from the skyscraper and be able to have life in the aftermath.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, baby.
You can't tell me the Most High, boy.
Yeah. I saw this. I was like, please be Judah. Please be somebody. Please be one of the 12. Be the dark skinned 12. One of the 12. I don't care if you're the Northern Indian tribes or the 3 dark tribes. Big one. Please, but yeah, this young lady, man, was on a $100 check, a welfare, couldn't pay rent. You know, had a little son and everything, and just like we been saying the whole show, we bottom of the totem pole, baby. All that weight on this 29-year-old sister still making it. But the history of the building, 1931, over 30 people tried. But 30 people tried to jump. Some just got back off, some jumped, and she's the only one that made it through. She's the only one.
Okay, so wait.
Only one.
So she jumped from floor 86.
Uh-huh.
86. And as she jumped, some wind gusts blew her into floor 85.
The ledge of the 85th floor where the guard
Settle down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, she jumped and the wind set her down. Set her down.
Yeah, just kind of like the little cloud on Mario Brothers that carry him, you know, something like that. So just put her on that ledge, and a guard, Jorge or George is what I like to call him.
Jorge, George.
Yeah, either or. Reiss was found to laying down on the ground on a ledge. Helped her out.
Wow.
He said around 8:15 p.m. she was calling for help. Broken hip, all that. She went to. I'm glad they said the name of that hospital.
You know what's interesting about that, Ak, is that she actually jumped and the wind put her on the floor below. She got a broken hip, and something in her at that moment was like, I gotta live, because instead of her just rolling off with the broke hip, she calling for help. You did what I'm saying, man? I'm gonna hit y'all with what I be hitting. My wife look at me like this every time I say it. She look at me crazy. Won't he do it?
Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Yes, he will. You know, I got some Sunday worship still in me. I can't avoid saying. I can't avoid it. Now, he do this to me all the time. Won't he do it? And I try not to say it, but I said, yes, he will.
Yes, he will.
Man, boy, that's crazy in the news.
That's crazy in the news. The wind was recorded. I want to say, and who we're not going to even go with who records this, but
whole another show.
That's a whole nother show with the coordinates on why we're a third of a man. But so it was recorded between 74 and 100, miles per hour.
That's bruh.
How you get in 1979? They recorded
$100 check, so she had to be thin. So I'm not being funny. I just recently was rewarded some things, so I'm able to put more in my refrigerator, so I get it.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
I get it.
You know what's funny is that when he shared that story with me, I was reading it, right? And it said $100 a month for welfare. I said, $100 a month for welfare? I said, anywhere in the world. I didn't realize it was in 1979. I said, wait a minute, Safa. I say, Safa. I say, Safa, go back and recheck this story, man. I said, it ain't nowhere in the world they giving this lady $100 a month for welfare in New York. I said, what the hell she eating?
Now, let's say something. And that's good that he fact checked me like that, because before I bring anything to any one of you guys, I look for it either in the Washington Post or the New York Times. This is recorded in the New York Times, so it's real. So,
all I saw was $100 a month for welfare. I was like, man, in New York, no way. No, but it was 1979. But yeah.
But check the update, though, man. This the crazy thing, man. As of September 13th, 2022, out of this article that I looked up, and it's called History of Yesterday. Not much is mentioned of her, but the only thing is recorded of her that she tried to be a comedian in New York City.
Boy,
she tried to be a comedian.
A comedian, man. That'd be my whole stage.
I'm telling you.
That was the fastest somebody ever done. I would be
wonder if there's any footage on YouTube or anything. Somebody gotta have something, man.
I don't know.
Somebody got somebody.
My wife even was in her. She got into this story. She went on Twitter, everything, trying to look for like there's an update. So yeah, she tried to be a comedian, man. I spin that story on a comedy stage, boy.
Yeah.
Who else tried to die?
Three Hebrew boys said that white girl that was missing in Belize. He said America got involved and the murderer ended up being the judge's son. I don't remember that story. The body was never found to this day. But the thing with our last story though, America can't get involved with this though because the jurisdiction.
Natalie, what was her name? Natalie something. I remember that.
How long ago?
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
They stopped the world for her.
2002, 2003. It
right.
was that they remember they questioned the 2 Indian dudes and that Yorin guy. He was found out his dad was a judge and all that. Yeah, I
okay then. Yeah. But the only thing America can do though is put pressure on Mexico and make them investigate, because what it looked like right now, they're not even going to investigate it. They saying that there was no. Matter of fact, the last that I heard, they said that it was foul play, that there is no, you know what I'm saying? And to me, like I say, man, when you sustain injuries like that, man, that's blunt force trauma. At the end of the report, it should be death by hump. But this Mexico on the move for pesos.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mexico on the move pesos.
Right.
It ain't no telling what they had to leave there too, so ain't no telling what they gave to get up out of there.
Yeah.
I mean, if she having to pay,
well, I don't know. Probably later on, yours is gonna find out something was carved out of her.
The organs.
You think?
That's good.
I would rock with that, but I would rock with that.
I'm just saying it would.
Yeah, I would rock with that if she had went down there by herself. Man, there's too many people for that. I don't. It's too.
Put in the freezer. For.
So if that's the case, they got paid for that. Then, if that's the case, they got paid for that.
Because I mean, you go on vacation and then book a flight, even though you scared, but to book a flight to come back early,
round trip. Early.
Yeah, they came back early.
If that's the case, if she got something missing, if that come out, man, they got paid for that, man. They see, I don't even want to think like that. I don't even want to stuff. I mean, it's already crazy enough that this happened amongst those that she trusted, man.
Right. We'll see in the coming days. It's enough black media blogs and stuff to where if we keep talking about this and talking about it, they can put pressure on the mainstream media to start talking about it, and maybe America will be like, you know what, Mexico, they right. What's good? We need
ain't nothing like the algorithm.
Kanika Jenkins, exactly. Kanika Jenkins, exactly. Kanika Jenkins, yeah. I mean, it's crazy, man. Hey, but you know, we want to thank everybody for sticking around with us. You know, as long as y'all have, Mosai is good. We'll be back here this time next week. Get ready to sit in. We got a good one next week, man. We got a really good one. We have a really great visitor that's gonna stop by as well. Absolutely. It's gonna be a great show. But with that being said, y'all got any last things to depart, y'all?
Stay girded up.
Oh man,
please stay girded up.
The armor of the Most High.
There
and
you
keep
go.
His commandments, because that's the whole duty of man. With that armor,
that's the whole duty of man.
You got the duty and the armor.
That's the whole duty of man. And you know a beautiful thing too? When the Most High separated the nations, he chose Israel to be his.
Come on, man.
He chose Israel to be his, man. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. Every time I think about that, I be like, thank you, Most High. You dig what I'm saying?
All praise.
He didn't have to choose us, but he did. I tell my wife all the time, I could have been born in another nation, man. Hey, I could have been born white. I'd have been like Vanilla Ice.
On that note.
This has been real. We would like to thank you, and we will see you at this same time next week.
faith, I take the vaccines. Step to me with it, I'ma make your back lean. We at the end, new Sodom and Gomorrah. Christ about to come and mop the floor up. Walking up in Louis V with your mask on. Check the me's, man, they about to get their blast on. Prophecy, interpretation, Isaiah 55:11, so it ain't no faking. Crack your dough, it's getting close. I'm here to tell you, just in case you didn't know. Listen, man, in case you didn't know, no, it's almost getting close, close. In case you didn't know, no, it's all unraveling.